Imagine walking into a high-end store, hoping for a great shopping experience, but instead, you're judged and humiliated just because of your appearance. Shocking, right? What happens next is something no one saw coming, and it's a story that teaches us all an unforgettable life lesson. Stick around till the end because this tale is not just jaw-dropping, it's full of inspiration and a crucial message we all need to hear. But before we dive into this gripping story, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You don't want to miss out on more amazing real-life stories like this one. It was just another glamorous afternoon on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. The sun was shining brightly, reflecting off the expensive glass windows of high-end boutiques. The Rolex store, known for its luxurious timepieces, was bustling with wealthy customers, most dressed in tailored suits and designer outfits. Inside, the new hire, Brad, stood behind the counter. Brad was eager to prove himself. He was taught that this store catered to an exclusive clientele, and he took his job very seriously. But Brad's eagerness often came off as arrogance. He believed he could spot serious buyers just by looking at them. The store was filled with murmurs of conversations between sales associates and customers, the soft hum of the air conditioning, and the occasional ding of the doorbell as people entered and exited. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until he walked in. The doorbell chimed, signaling that someone new had entered. The store fell slightly silent as people eyed the new arrival. In walked a man who didn't fit the usual image of a Rodeo Drive shopper. He wore a pair of worn-out jeans, an old faded t-shirt, and sneakers that looked like they had seen better days. His long hair was slightly messy, and he had a beard that gave him a rugged, unpolished look. He walked slowly, seemingly uninterested in the stares that followed him. The man moved toward one of the glass display cases and began admiring a Rolex Daytona, one of the store's most iconic and expensive models, valued at over $100,000. Brad, standing nearby, immediately grew suspicious. In his mind, this scruffy-looking man clearly didn't belong in such a high-class store. Brad's judgment was swift, and it was about to lead to a huge mistake. Brad didn't waste any time. Puffing up his chest, he marched over to the man, his tone sharp and condescending. "Excuse me, sir," Brad said, narrowing his eyes. "This store is for serious buyers only." The man glanced up, surprised but calm. "I am a serious buyer," he replied politely, his voice soft and humble. Brad smirked, crossing his arms. "Really? Because you don't look like someone who can afford to be in here. Unless you've got $100,000 in cash or a black card, I suggest you leave. We don't allow window shoppers to waste our time." The store fell silent. Customers and staff turned their attention toward the confrontation. Some whispered among themselves, while others simply stared, waiting to see what would happen next. The man's face reddened slightly, but he didn't raise his voice. "I assure you, I have the means to purchase a watch here," he said. Brad didn't back down. In fact, he took a step closer and said, "Buddy, I'm going to ask you one more time. Either prove you're here to buy or get out before I call security." The man sighed, clearly disappointed. He nodded, raised his hands slightly as if to say, "I don't want trouble," and began walking toward the door. As the scruffy man reached the exit, something unexpected happened. A sleek black car pulled up to the curb outside the store. The window rolled down, revealing a well-dressed woman who looked like someone important. "Keanu!" she called out, her voice cheerful. "Did you find the right watch for the charity auction?" The man turned and smiled warmly. "Not yet," he replied. Inside the store, Brad froze. His mind raced as he put the pieces together. Keanu? As in Keanu Reeves? The same Keanu Reeves who starred in hit movies like The Matrix and John Wick? The Hollywood legend known not only for his talent but also for his humility and generosity. Everyone in the store, including Brad, finally realized who they had just dismissed. The whispers among customers grew louder. "That's Keanu Reeves?" one woman asked, her jaw dropped. "He's so humble, I can't believe that's how he dressed," another person said. Brad's heart sank. He had just thrown out one of the most beloved actors in the world. Keanu's assistant stepped out of the car and walked into the store, her stride confident but her face filled with confusion. "Who's in charge here?" she demanded. The store manager, alerted by the commotion, rushed over, his face pale. "I am. Is there a problem?" Keanu's assistant explained what had happened, and the manager's face turned an even deeper shade of white. He turned to Brad, his eyes blazing with fury. Before the manager could say anything, Keanu walked back into the store. His calm demeanor only added to the weight of the situation. Keanu smiled gently and said, "It's okay." He turned to Brad and said, "I understand people make mistakes. But in the future, I hope you'll think twice before judging someone based on appearances." The store went quiet again. No one expected such kindness from someone who had just been so thoroughly humiliated. Keanu continued, "I was interested in buying 3 watches, one for a charity auction, one for myself, and one to donate to a youth center. But I guess it wasn't meant to be." He paused for a moment, then added, "But I hope this experience helps you grow." With that, Keanu left the store, his assistant following closely behind. As the door closed behind Keanu, Brad felt his stomach churn. He had been so focused on judging people by their appearances that he had made the mistake of a lifetime. The manager pulled Brad aside and gave him a stern warning. "You're lucky Mr. Reeves is such a kind and forgiving man," the manager said, his voice low but firm. "This could have cost us millions in bad publicity. Consider this your final warning. If you ever treat a customer like that again, you're done here." Brad nodded, his face red with embarrassment. He knew he had messed up, and there was no one to blame but himself. In the days that followed, the incident at the Rolex store became the talk of Beverly Hills. Word spread quickly about how humble Keanu Reeves had been mistreated and how gracefully he had handled the situation. The store received numerous calls from people expressing their disappointment in Brad's behavior and praising Keanu's response. Brad, feeling the weight of his actions, took some time to reflect on what had happened. He realized that his desire to impress his bosses and protect the store's image had led him to make unfair judgments about people. He thought about all the potential customers he might have mistreated in the past, simply because they didn't fit his idea of what a serious buyer looked like. The manager, seeing Brad's genuine remorse, decided to give him a second chance. However, he made it clear that Brad needed to change his approach to customer service. "Remember," the manager said, "our job is not to judge who can or can't afford our products. Our job is to provide excellent service to everyone who walks through that door." Determined to make amends and learn from his mistake, Brad decided to write a letter of apology to Keanu Reeves. In it, he expressed his deep regret for his actions and thanked the actor for the valuable lesson in humility and kindness. To Brad's surprise, a few days later, he received a response. Keanu had written back, accepting his apology and encouraging him to use this experience as a catalyst for personal growth. The letter read in part, "We all make mistakes, Brad. What matters is how we learn from them and grow. I hope this incident helps you see people in a new light. Remember, everyone has a story, and everyone deserves respect." Brad was moved to tears by Keanu's forgiveness and wisdom. He pinned the letter to his bedroom wall as a daily reminder of the importance of treating everyone with kindness and respect. The story of Keanu Reeves' encounter at the Rolex store didn't just impact Brad. It had a ripple effect throughout the luxury retail industry in Beverly Hills. Other high-end stores began to reevaluate their approach to customer service, emphasizing the importance of treating all potential customers with equal respect and dignity. Some stores even implemented new training programs for their staff, using this incident as a case study in how not to judge customers based on appearances. The message was clear: in the world of luxury retail, you never know who might walk through your doors. In a surprising turn of events, about a month after the incident, Keanu Reeves returned to the Rolex store. This time, he was greeted with the utmost respect and enthusiasm. The actor, true to his word, purchased 3 watches, one for the charity auction he had mentioned, one for himself, and one to donate to a local youth center. But Keanu didn't stop there. He asked to speak with Brad, who was working that day. Brad, nervous and still ashamed, approached the actor. Keanu smiled warmly and said, I got your letter, Brad. I appreciate your honesty and your willingness to learn from this experience. That takes courage. He then handed Brad a small box. Inside was a beautiful Rolex watch, not as expensive as some in the store, but still a significant gift. Attached was a note that read, "To Brad, a reminder that time is precious, and how we treat others is what truly matters. Keep growing. Keanu." Brad was overwhelmed by this act of kindness. He realized that Keanu had not only forgiven him but had gone out of his way to encourage Brad's growth and transformation. This story isn't just about Brad's mistake, it's about a lesson we all need to learn. Judging someone based on their looks or how they present themselves is not just wrong, it's dangerous. You never know who someone really is or what their story might be. Keanu Reeves, who is known for his humility and acts of kindness, handled the situation with grace and dignity. Instead of lashing out or causing a scene, he used the moment to teach a valuable lesson. His actions remind us that kindness and respect should be universal. It doesn't matter if someone is a Hollywood superstar or just an average person walking down the street, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity.